Welcome to Chop Shop Motors. My name is Clay, and I think tonight I'm out in the shop and I'm going to I'm not going to work on a project, I'm going to work on some stuff that's in the shop, and I thought I'd share with you some of the stuff that kind of, it is fun and that I look for and that I've acquired in the last little bit, and kind of take you along on that journey. So might be kind of a short video, but it'll give you a little peek at some of the other stuff that Chop Shop Motors is playing with. So let me show you kind of what I'm thinking. If you recall, on one of the videos not too long ago, we did some unboxing, and inside that was this center section right here. So this is a 77 to 84 center section. That's the era, the window that style could have been made in. Next to it is probably actually an earlier center section. They're both 4-drawer. They're probably 78, 79, 80, somewhere in there. This particular one with the door on the front, do it one-handed here, is probably a little bit later of the family, which is the red box, gray doors, and the Sears Craftsman logo that is in the rectangle. I've got a couple of these boxes, the 3-drawer, and I've got a couple that are the 4-drawer. My goal, if I back up just a little bit, was to have all of the kind of late 70s toolboxes in here for my tools. So the emotional attachment is that the toolbox here that you see, this tall one with the center section, was my first toolbox. Then this lower portion was my dad's, and I've kind of acquired other boxes to fill it out. And so the part of the fun of doing this is the hunt. This is a booger to get open with one hand. That's probably why they always stay open. Part of it is the hunt, and I love the hunt, and I've got other people that are helping me to find it. So I found this later box. It's a 90s box, super nice, lower and upper. But a 90s box doesn't quite fit. It fits in that it's red and gray, and most people wouldn't even notice the difference. But I noticed the difference. It's got a different logo, and it's just a touch different style. So, long story to a short point, I acquired, because of BW Upholstery, he's always on the hunt for these, I acquired another lower box that is identical to the 3 that I have. So this lower box was in really good shape, and it's missing some clips. They're on their way. I spent a couple hours cleaning it up and getting, I don't know, whatever, it's a 77 box, so number of decades of drizzle paint and grease and grime and whatnot off of it, but it has no other real damage to it. It's super nice, other than the clips are missing. So my guess is somebody pulled the drawers out, didn't know how to take the clips loose without taking them out, and they got separated from the box, and voila. Time goes on, the box goes one way and the clips get thrown away. So that's that piece right there. So first addition is this toolbox to the shop, with it'll actually get that center section, which is an early or a late of this family, so probably I don't know, but I'm guessing early 80s, so maybe 81, 82, I could be wrong, but somewhere in there. center section, and then I'll keep my eyes open for finally getting the right top box. And this will get probably put somewhere else, and you just can never have too many toolboxes. So that's the toolbox piece. Pieces that I got that go with the toolbox is what I'll show you next. So no good garage is complete without a fair number of vintage pieces of advertising to go with it. So this is an incredibly cool Pegasus, which I got for Christmas from my daughter. And this is called a license plate topper. So this is a mobile oil drive safely Pegasus, and my hope, if everything goes well, is that it'll end up going on that 32 I'm building to top the license plate. There'll be enough of the original brackets that get used for that to fit in perfectly. So that is the first piece of kind of advertising that I want to show you. And let me show you the next one. Kind of jumping around here. So the next one I acquired is a Royal Crown sign. So the Royal Crown sign, there's a little bit of there's a little debate over exactly how it was used. One person, the person I bought it from, said they felt it was a cooler lid, but it doesn't have any of the holes where it should have had holes to be the lid to a chest style cooler. I've had some of these before, and they were used to put onto coolers to change the logos and the bottling company as different people rented or leased the machines out. So either way, it's a legitimate Royal Crown Cola with the yellow. Such a cool sign. I've started to look for more and more of the Royal Crown stuff, and kind of I don't know, kind of shickle some of it away. It's a great way to invest a couple bucks and know that it's actually gonna be worth more than that when you get all done. Most of these signs aren't super expensive. So it's not like you're putting out thousands and thousands of dollars. So that's the Royal Crown sign. Kind of fits in with a lot of the soda that I kind of have in that corner. And then the next piece that is a new acquisition is the Napa PCV valve cabinet. So this is a really neat little piece. It's kind of odd in that it's brown and orange. Typically you see these as blue and orange. Why? Not sure. Special marketing campaign, short run, who knows? But I don't see too many in brown and orange. Somebody may have a comment and be able to enlighten me. That would be awesome. But that's kind of cool. Inside I have center cups for aluminum wheels, so everything gets repurposed and used, and it's incredible shape. Lucky to say that was another Christmas present. Santa was good to me this year. And then there is the last piece I want to show you, which I will unbox for you because it just got here today, and it's a crusty piece. I will show it to you and we'll do a little work on it. So let me get you in the tripod. I almost forgot to show you another piece that I had bought maybe a few weeks ago, and that was this Imperial fitting drawer. I have multiples of the fitting drawers, as you can kind of see in this line, and they're all a little different. Most of them, the ones I have, are Weatherhead, but this Imperial was a different brand, different company made the box, and a different color palette. So, you know, I like the orange and black. It was just hammered. If you follow my Instagram, you can Chop Motors. You can take a look at the before and after. It was pretty beat up, and so it isn't perfect now, but it's a pretty cool piece. And quite honestly, it's probably as nice, if not nicer, than any of the rest of them I have. So I use those for small parts. That's got small parts for 32s in it, and that's kind of how I repurpose them and justify having it. Okay, so let's do the unboxing now. Okay, so like I said, I have been, over the course of the last, I don't know, couple weeks, kind of with taking a couple days off of work and stuff, I have been kind of following some Royal Crown signage and marketing material. I love that stuff. And most of it has really jumped up in price, and I just, I don't know, it's not that it's not worth it. I just didn't want to cut loose of quite as much cash as some of it was going for. So I figured I would just wait and, you know, buy something later, see if I could find something. And a piece I had looked at, the person pinged me back with a little bit of a reduced offer on it. And I said, okay, that sounds like that sounds like something that's doable. And so I went ahead and bought it at the reduced cost. So not terribly expensive, but also not in fantastic shape. So you and I are going to get to see the good, the bad, the whatever together. Package nice, so that's always a plus. Means the seller cared a little bit about it. Okay, so this is what the purchase was. This is a Royal Crown thermometer. It's probably, I don't know, 6 inches wide, I'm guessing, about 13 or 14 inches tall. It has, the thing that I love about it and kind of drew me to it is I love the triangle logo. Royal Crown went through a lot of different logos. I like the triangle logo. I like this bottle. This is the 60s era bottle. And so it has a bottle on it. The color on the bottle is pretty decent. Overall, the piece is not, you know, if I'm grading this on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably going to give it about maybe a 4 or so. The thermometer is missing, which I'll show you how I'm going to address that. And there's paint, house paint along the edge. The corners are all dimpled in where somebody's beat nails into the corners, banging onto a wall. And you know, probably where they got damaged was when the person who snagged it jerked it off the wall. It's got some dents along the rail here. It's got a little bit of rust on the inside, so it was obviously a little bit of a moist environment. If you look down the side like that, not too bad. So overall, a cool piece, not perfect. It wasn't represented as perfect. Let's see what we can do to take it from this kind of state to something just a little bit nicer. That's kind of what we do here. So let's see how we improve it. So first thing I'm going to do is kind of look at the obvious areas that it's been distorted. It's got some pushes in here. I'm going to pop those out if I can. We'll see how much give it's got. And I guarantee there's going to be some people out there who are really good at this, who will say, "Oh my gosh, don't do it that way." And I hear you. You're probably right, but I'm going to do it the way I've been doing it. So I'm just going to go around and kind of try to introduce pressures in the opposite way that the pressure was applied when it was dented, dinged, or bent. And we're going to start taking some of these out. So that's already a little bit better. Basically what I've done is I put a little bitty C-clamp in the vise. And I'm going to use that to just gently see if I can push out some of these dimples. And the reason I'm doing it that way versus just doing it with a hammer is if I'm careful enough, I may actually be able to do it without doing too much extra damage to the paint. And our goal, well, I don't know, my goal isn't really to make this flawless, because it's, you know, that's not, we're not restoring it. I'm just working to preserve it in the best possible way we can. And this will get us some of the way there. So I'm using the foot of the C-clamp to push that dimple up, and then I'm going to kind of adjust it a little bit to take care of some of the other distortion that was in it because they wailed on it with a hammer. Is it going to be flawless? No, but I bet it's going to be better than it was when I took it out of that box. You'll probably start to see a theme that lots of the stuff we do here isn't flawless. It's just maybe a touch better than it was when we got it. I don't know if that's good or not. That's not a resounding endorsement for Chop Chop Motors, but I guess it is what it is. Okay, so we're going to push down on this a little bit. Now the tricky part is that this is a stamping that stretched that metal a bunch anyway. So we'll want to be careful. It was probably never perfect in that area anyway, just because there was some extra metal in it. We'll take these duckbill pliers and we'll put a little bit of the edge back in this. Kind of work that. My guess is in this area, this was never perfect because there was a bunch of metal that was used to stretch this pop bottle, and down here that metal had to do something, and so some of this kind of ripple that we're seeing is just because of that. And that shoulder piece right here, make sure you can see it, that shoulder piece that's put on these signs is there because when they stamped it, that piece of metal is super floppy. So that helps give it a little bit of the rigidity that it needs to hold its shape. Okay, we'll do this one. Give it just a little bit of an adjustment there. All right. Okay. All right. So already, can't really see probably too much, but already we've made a couple steps towards improving the look of it. Okay, let's do the next piece. So as you work on it, there is a fair bit of rust that's kind of rust and paint that's kind of on the surface, and you have to be sort of careful how you attack that, because the paint that you want to keep isn't all that durable. So if you use something that's too aggressive, you'll end up just basically taking it down to the metal. So I'm going to use a little Windex, and I'm going to start to see kind of what's in here that we can play with. I'm going to check the rag to make sure that I'm not pulling off any huge amounts of color. And you'll start to see them in the rag. If you're getting too aggressive, the color will come right off on your cloth. Okay, not doing a ton. Got to be kind of careful where you do the red, because it will definitely not be as thick. The graphics on the bottle, I'm really just giving them a once over just to clean them. I'm not going to do much with them because, again, the luster in the bottle is going to be kind of what it's going to be. We'll clean up, we'll get it a little bit cleaner, but it probably won't be a bunch. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of compound to this white area. So let me get that. Try to get it where you can see it. Okay, so now I'm going to take a little bit of rubbing compound. And everybody has their own method for this. I'm going to start on some of this area. Again, I'm going to stick to the white, but I'm going to do some of this area where it has some paint on it, and I'm going to see if that will do anything to this house paint. Okay, we're starting to make a little bit of traction. I'm going to rub on this for a little while and see what kind of work I can do, and then I'll bring it back. So here it is to this stage where I have taken a little bit of cleaner to it. I have taken a really light abrasive, a Scotch pad to get some of this paint off. I did not get all of the paint off. So as you can see, it's a lot thinner through here. Up in here, I pretty much stopped because I was just going to take all the red off. It's got some areas where it's rusting and there is no paint right there. And again, you can get more aggressive, but all you'll really do is take everything off. So this is how, so now it's as clean as I can make it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some wax on it and see if I can bring a little bit of luster back to the paint that's still there. So the wax isn't going to do, more than likely isn't going to really do anything to the surface. It's not going to take any material off. All it's going to do is make the paint that's there shine. It might pull a little bit of the dirt out of some of the pores of it, but you know, at this point, the sign is kind of what the sign is, and we're now just going to restore its luster back to the best that we can, and the wax should do a good job of that. Now we'll just start taking the wax off, just like you would if you're putting it on your car. And you'll work it out of the crevices and areas that it gets trapped in. There's the sign, cleaned up, waxed. Does it look new old stock? Absolutely not. Does it look presentable? Guess it depends on who's looking at it. I think it looks awesome. I'm going to see if I have a thermometer for it, and I'll pop a thermometer in it and make it complete. So let me rummage through my kind of spare pieces and see if I have one that'll work. So I had a thermometer for it. It's a little short. It's one for the little bit smaller area that reads the temperature. So I will get one ordered. There are a couple different companies that sell them, or I might be able to find a vintage one that is the right length. And I'll put a 6.5 inch thermometer in it, and then that sign will be back to as good as I can make it. I hope you liked, and if you followed along to this point, liked seeing these old things get brought back. Please hit the like button if you want to see more of this. And please subscribe. We're always doing stuff out in the shop. This is a little offshoot of working on projects, but I love this stuff. It's in my veins. It's my thing that makes me smile, is finding this old junk and seeing if I can improve it just a little bit. So we'll hang this sign up in the shop, and I actually have another one coming that is really crusty. So if you like this, I might do that one. It's a much bigger risk on whether it'll come back. The cool thing about it is it's an independent little garage on the East Coast, and it's got some cool graphics on it. So I'll keep you posted on that. And I'm Clay for Chop Shop Motors. We'll see you on the next project.